Factsverse presents 30 Most Dangerous Roads on the Planet. There's always a road or two in every town or city that is not pleasant to drive on. Some roads have sharp, dangerous turns. Some roads in the world are literally deadly. Don't believe me? Well, here are some of the most dangerous roads on the planet. Guiyang Tunnel Road in China. This terrifying road runs through the mountain caves. There's very little room between the wall and the cliff. When you go into the tunnel portions of the road, you're going to need to turn your lights on because there is no light. The highway was built by 13 people and it's been used for over 40 years. The highway is full of terrifying twists and turns. Yungas Road in Bolivia. This terrifying road is famous among adrenaline junkies all over the world. The highway is so dangerous, over 300 people have died while driving on it. Most of the people who died were tourists from La Paz, Bolivia who were on their way to Corcio. The highway stretches for 43 miles. It took just a minor bump to knock a car off the road, and that would cause them to careen down the cliff. Recently the highway was smoothed out, which made it a bit safer, but not by much. Kwandinsky Bridge in Siberia. This is one of the most dangerous bridges in the world. There are no guardrails, and it's made of wood. If you're planning to travel across this bridge, you better have a good reason because you might not make it across. According to the locals, only 35 cars have ever managed to cross the bridge in its entire history. If possible, you want to avoid this bridge at all costs. Karnali Highway in Nepal. This highway surrounds the Nepal hills. It's just one lane which leaves no room for mistakes. The enormous hill makes it impossible to see if there's another car coming in the other direction. The highway is so dangerous that when the sun sets, you're not allowed to even take this road. Kabul-Jalalabad Highway in Afghanistan. This highway is located in Jalalabad, Afghanistan, and it stretches for 89 miles. It outlines the Kabul River Gorge. The rocky cliffs and sharp right turns make the road very dangerous, and the fact that there are no guardrails makes it even more dangerous. There's only room for one vehicle, too, so if a car comes from the other direction, that's going to cause a hazardous traffic jam. Col de Torini in France. This road is located on a mountain that's over 5,000 feet above sea level. It's one of the most picturesque highways on Earth, but also one of the most dangerous. The highway winds left and right, which means that you need to pay close attention when driving. If you're driving in poor weather, it makes the ride even more dangerous. Only the best drivers can be safe on this road, and it's the stage for the Rally of Monte Carlo. Skipper's Canyon Road in New Zealand. This is a hazardous one-lane road that takes drivers to the south side of the island. The highway was built 140 years ago and has yet to be restored. If you get into an accident on this road, your insurance company is not going to cover the damage. If you need to get to the south side of the island, it's best to take a different route. The Himalayan Road Network. This road takes you to the top of the Himalayan mountains, and it's incredibly dangerous. The steep edges and the crumbling rocks are terrifying, and there are no guardrails on the highway's curves. If you're going to take this road, it's recommended you go with a guide. However, that's still not going to ensure that you're going to make it to the top of the mountain safely or alive. James Dalton Highway in Alaska. Just because this highway doesn't have dangerous twists, turns, or cliffs, it doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. What makes the road so treacherous is that it is totally isolated. There are no stores, no gas stations or homes anywhere. You can't even get cell service on this road. If you run out of gas or skid off the road, you could be left stranded for weeks. When the weather's bad, Alaskans know better than to take this stretch of road. Ruta Nacional 5 in Chile. Here's another road that has no cliffs or ridges, but it's still dangerous. It's a very boring stretch of road and drivers will often fall asleep at the wheel. Also, the climate in Chile often produces fog over the landscape, making it almost impossible to see. Paso de los Libertadores between Chile and Argentina. This winding highway runs up 10,000 feet and connects Chile to Argentina. It's the path that people take to the Andes, and the scenery is beautiful. But as beautiful as the scenery is, the highway is very intimidating. The Snails section of the highway includes 20 turns. If you're out in the winter, it's even more dangerous. Taroko Gorge Road in Taiwan. This is known as one of the most dangerous roads in Taiwan. There are plenty of bends and sharp turns where if you don't pay attention, tragedy can strike. It's a popular highway for cyclists who work hard to stay away from oncoming traffic. Every year, people who are new to the road hit cyclists and pedestrians. Halsema Highway in the Philippines. Because of frequent landslides and poor maintenance, this is one of the most dangerous highways in the country. Every year, at least one bus rolls down the edge of the highway. This is the route to one of the most popular tourist attractions, Sagada's Path. To get there, tourists have to risk their lives. Kahekili Highway in Hawaii. This is a one-lane paved highway that has rocks and stones on one side and steep cliffs on the other. The highway is 20 miles long and runs between two cities. Although the road has recently been repaved, it's still dangerous because of the rocks that can fall at any time. Col de Chaussee in France. This is one of the most beautiful and dangerous roads in the world. The road wraps around a mountain and the sharp turns put you at a significant risk of falling off the side. Because many people have lost their lives on this road, local authorities repaved the road and added a barrier. If you have a fear of heights, this might not be the best road for you to travel. Tianmen Shan Big Gate Road in China. This road is so winding, it has so many sharp turns, you can actually get dizzy while driving along it. It's located in the National Park of Tianmen Mountains, and it climbs up 3,000 feet over just 6 miles. If you want to go to the top of the mountain, it's best to take a cable car, which also happens to be the longest cable car ride in the world. Gorges du Dades in Morocco. This winding highway provides beautiful views, but it's still hazardous. It's not the road itself that's dangerous, it's the local residents who drive on the road. These people know every twist and turn like the back of their hands, so they tend to drive recklessly. Locals are known to drive inexperienced tourists off the road. Amalfi Coast Highway in Italy. The dangerous road takes you from Amalfi to Scala and Vietri-sul-Mar along the Italian shore. The infrastructure of the road is secure, but there are frequent rock slides that can knock you right off the road. There are also steep edges and cliffs which can be horrifying. Le Manali Highway in India. This is the world's largest highway. It takes up to 17,000 feet, and at the top there is not a lot of oxygen. As if not having enough air to breathe isn't bad enough, there's ice and mud along the way that can run you off the road if you're driving too fast. Unless you absolutely have to take this road, you want to avoid it. San Juan Skyway in Colorado. This is a portion of the $1 Million Highway from the western area of Colorado. There are no barriers on the highway to keep you from driving right off the cliff. If you must take this stretch of highway, it's best to do so during daylight hours for obvious reasons. I mean, at night, one wrong turn's going to send you over the edge. Zoji Law Pass in India. If you're looking for a picturesque trip along the countryside, this road ain't it. If you take your eyes off the road for even a second, you could find yourself in serious trouble. It takes you 11,000 feet from Jammu Indian State to Kashmir. The locals take this road daily because they know it so well, but tourists need to avoid the road at all costs, or at least stay as close to the mountainside as possible. Stelvio Pass in Italy. This road's located in the Alps and it takes you to smaller areas of the mountain. The road's very dangerous due to thin roads and sharp turns. When driving down the mountain, it feels as though you're driving into a dark abyss. If the road's icy, you should avoid the road altogether. Commonwealth Avenue in the Philippines. This road isn't curvy and it's not on the edge of a cliff, and you don't really need to worry about ice or fog. So why is it dangerous? Well, it's an 18-lane highway, and there are at least 5 traffic accidents every day. When drivers are rushing to work, they're not always paying attention. That results in accidents, some of them deadly. Cat and Fiddle Road in England. The name of this road kind of makes it sound cute and fun, right? Well, no, it's the opposite. It's located outside Manchester, England, and it attracts many cyclists. Unfortunately, the road is dangerous for those cyclists. There's not much visibility around the corners, and that makes it hard for cyclists and motorists to see ahead. Cyclists have to be extremely cautious while riding down this road. Cotopaxi Volcano Road in Ecuador. This road takes you up a volcano, which happens to be an active volcano. The visibility is often compromised and the highway is poorly maintained. The road is loaded with potholes and there are parts of the road that are nothing but dirt and gravel. If you're going to travel up this road, do so at your own risk. The Trans-Siberian Highway in Russia. This is a system of highways that runs through Russia to various areas, including the Japanese Sea and the Baltic Sea. Part of the highway runs from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok, and it's 7,000 miles long. It's one of the coldest areas on Earth, too, so the icy roads make it a very dangerous highway, and it's also very isolated. If you break down or run out of gas, you could easily freeze to death before help arrives. Sichuan-Tibet Highway in China. This highway reaches insane heights. You can drive up 13,000 feet, and at the top, the oxygen level is a lot lower than normal. That's pretty hard on your body. The road's infrastructure is poor, and the cold and the ice make it very unsafe for driving. If possible, it's best to find another route to your destination. BR-116 in Brazil. This highway takes you across incredible mountain ranges, including Dedo de Dos, Verrugo de France, Pedra do Sino, and Dedo de Nocia. It runs along the Brazilian shore for 2,700 miles. It's not the actual road that makes the highway dangerous, it's the people you'll run into along the way. Literally run into. There are gangs, corporate police officers, and criminals who are everywhere on the highway. You could find yourself in grave danger if you take this stretch of road. Whatever you do, don't stop. Fairy Mountain Road in Pakistan. If you want to get to the top of Nanga Parbat, the 9th largest mountain on the planet, you got to take this hazardous road. There are no guardrails to keep you from falling off the mountain, and it's not paved, and it's your only way up there. It's just gravel. Also, the streets are narrow. The state ignores the road, it's never maintained, and it's one of the most dangerous roads in the world, and it should be avoided if possible. Hopefully you don't have to get to the top of Fairy Mountain. Bayburt'u View in Turkey. This road takes you up a steep cliff with no guardrails. If that's not bad enough, you gotta watch out for tumbling rocks that often land in the road. There are plenty of things to be afraid of when taking this road, so find another way around. Subscribe for more.